Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV 7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. And welcome into Sheriff Talk, another edition here on KWN TV. And Sheriff, welcome back.
Good to be here.
And welcome back. Yeah. I mean, a big time welcome back.
Finally.
Major Tommy Bradford, the Dade County Sheriff's Department, and back to work as of this week. And
yes. It was in the paper this morning.
Yeah. He's made all of the media rounds.
Yeah, 3, 9, 12.
Well, I've talked with you just here recently, and on the program we'll kind of unpack this, but you've done remarkably well.
Yeah, I've had a lot of support from my family, from this community and surrounding communities, so that kind of helps speed that process up. It makes you want to get up and do things. So, yeah, that's helped me a lot. Well,
I mean, I've known you for probably too many years that we won't talk about, and you've always had a great. I mean, you got a great work ethic, and I mean, it was good that it happened to someone at your caliber that can bounce back and come back. I mean, not everybody can do that.
Some people would just go home and sit down and give up. But.
Well, I mean, you got two ways to look at it. You can have a bad attitude or a good attitude. Bad attitude don't usually get you anywhere. So I wasn't dead, so I don't want to live life going through with having a bad attitude. So I chose to keep the good attitude.
And you're exactly right. You got a great family, you got great kids, a great wife, you got support systems out of the world. So that means a lot. I know.
Oh yeah, that means a whole lot.
Be able to do that. For those of you that don't know, Major Tommy Bradford. Now, how many months has it been?
Let's see, it's August 2018.
18. A high-speed pursuit by law enforcement out of DeKalb County, Alabama, started in the city of Fort Payne. Tommy Major Bradford responded from the Sheriff's Department and was trying to stop a vehicle from coming into the city, coming northbound on Highway 11, just outside the city, and you laid down the spikes. And, of course, if you follow media at all, you know what has happened or what happened that day. He was struck by the vehicle that was being pursued, and the person was later caught and incarcerated and so forth. But you were flown out that day by Life Force and have had an extensive recovery, but coming back to work this week.
Yeah. I mean, I still got my issues. The bumps and bruises, I guess you could say, after the fact that I'll deal with, but I'm alive, so I can't really complain about those. Main thing is just the phantom pains that they get you at night a lot, so just work through that stuff and keep moving forward.
And if anybody's ever lost a limb, even a finger, you get what they call phantom pains from the nerve endings, and sometimes you feel like that limb is still there.
I cut this fingertip off years ago with a skill saw 25 years ago, and it still tingles just like, every now and then. And that's just a little bit of the end of the finger. You imagine the whole leg or something? It's sore and a little bit. I guess it'd be that way forever.
Have the doctors told you, would that ever eventually go away or not? Or do they even know?
They don't really know. As far as some people it may lessen. Some people don't have any issues, but some people have what they call phantom sensations, which is where you just feel it, and there's really no pain associated with it. And then some have the phantom pain, and I got lucky and got the sensation and the pain. So
Well, obviously, having to deal with that, but you have a, and it's kind of hard to say, a prosthetic leg. You've got one of the new kind.
Yeah, it's been out probably, let's see, out to the public probably 3 or 4 years now, and it was kind of hard to find. Like at Siskins, they hadn't worked with this particular leg that's able to do so much, so we had to learn together. So not a lot of people get this leg, and so I had the opportunity, and workers' comp was good to me, and knew I was young and was wanting to go back to work, so they spent the money on it and got me the leg. But it's when that if I understood it right, the Department of Defense and Autobot got together and created this for military guys that wanted to kind of go back into the field and finish up their career. So that's kind of how this leg was designed.
Well, I was thinking the fact that you see the unfortunate thing of a lot of our soldiers that get wounded through IEDs on the battlefield or whatever, and they end up with a similar type of leg. So you've ended up with a similar type of leg as the other soldiers.
Yeah, so like I don't have to worry about getting in water. If I have to, I can get in the water. It doesn't hurt. It's all sealed. I've been in the ocean with it, so yeah, it's designed to take a beating.
You know, through the process of PT, physical therapy, and coming back. I mean, I guess you've obviously you've been able to walk with it and function with it. Running is,
I've started that process. I've not quite got that. Just like short runs. If I'm going to run a long distance, I'd have to have an actual running leg that kind of tilts your leg forward, because when you run, you don't run flat-footed, so they have an angle on it, and it's usually like a spring-looking.
Like I've seen those
leg,
from soldiers that run in marathons and things like that.
and it kind of keeps the pressure from the pounding pressure on your limb that you got, so it kind of
same way your regular foot would.
Yeah.
Your other foot, is going to kind of springs you right.
Yeah,
the absorption
so that's
off.
what it's made for. But I can run in this if it's like a short distance. I wouldn't want to try to take off and run a mile in it by no means.
Absolutely. Well, it's so glad. I know that the department is thrilled, and the community is thrilled to have you back. We're going to take our first break of the morning. We're talking here on Sheriff Talk. Sheriff Bo Barnett, Marion County, of course, here with us, and Major Tommy Bradford, who is back to work here in Dade County. We'll take our first break and invite you to stay with us. More to come on KWN.
Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
NL Tax and Bookkeeping is ready to serve all of your tax needs. Nancy Anderton's been serving the tri-state area since 1978. Now you can get your taxes prepared with no out-of-pocket expenses. Ask about up to a $1,200 refund advance. It's fast, easy, safe, and convenient. NL Tax and Bookkeeping is open 8:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and 8:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Questions about the Affordable Care Act? We have those answers too. And we offer a free form price comparison. Experienced and professional tax services. NL Tax and Bookkeeping. 500 Alabama Highway 73, 7 miles from downtown Trenton. Call today at 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829. NL Tax and Bookkeeping. 706-657-4758 or 256-597-2829.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
The Moore family name has built a legacy of trust, compassion, and peace of mind by standing with families during time of loss. Now in our 70th year, the Moore family commitment grows even stronger, from affordable, traditional services to cremation. Our experienced staff stands ready to follow through on you and your family's wishes. Since 1945, the Moore family of funeral homes, North Sand Mountain and Trenton, always dedicated to those we serve.
Back now to KWN with Sheriff Talk. We are visiting with the returning to work Major Tommy Bradford with Dade County, of course, coming back after 18 months or something like
Basically,
that.
yeah. I think they said 538 days or 28.
Wow.
So they had it counted to the exact days, but something like that.
Well, I mean, you've been around. I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
you've been back for
Yeah.
your wife, of course, works at the sheriff's department, and so I've had a chance to. We've talked, and you've been back. Kind of tell us how you're going to get back into the system of working every day.
So basically, I'm going to go in as a liaison. Matt Cole, who's been the chief deputy since I've been gone, he's going to stay in that spot, and I'm going to step down and kind of do a liaison position, and it'll allow me to do like meetings, work with EMA, commission, the city, police department, the schools. So it's going to allow me to kind of gradually get back going and not overdo it to where I cause myself issues, because I don't want to go back home and say it. I don't. The retirement stuff just ain't for me. So.
Well, you're way too young for that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, the sheriff's way too young for that too.
I didn't like it, so.
Now, I can imagine that out of those 18 months, there was probably a few days you were sitting at home going, "This ain't going to
Yeah,
work."
no, I think I'll always have a job till I die. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So that'll be good. That'll give you an opportunity to kind of ease into what you're doing, and I know that all four of the counties do these quarterly meetings, and maybe you can help coordinate that with the other sheriffs and different things like
Yeah.
that. I guess to be able to do that, because that's been really productive. I know
I
that.
think it's getting close to time for that.
Who's buying?
I was sitting there thinking, I believe I bought last time. So I think Ray did. I'd have to sit and think about it. Maybe the Sheriff Phillips from Chuck from Jackson County, maybe his time. Because he
Well-
likes to go to Mud Creek, so
Right, that's good.
We don't
good
argue
little,
with him about
Good
it.
little restaurant
Yeah.
over there for sure. I've been over there with y'all
They do a
before.
good job. They have a back room there where we can get away from the public and talk and serve a good meal. So it's it's probably the best place we can find in the three counties. So
Well, that is good. Well, I'm glad the sheriff's going to let you ease into getting back to work, and so that'll be good. There's a lot of liaison work out there. If people want to stop and think about it, how the sheriff's department can help agencies and other intergovernmental agencies to be able to, to have the input of law enforcement.
Yeah. And plus, I'm going to try to, if there's a grant out there, I'll look at those to see if we can find something that benefits the county or the sheriff's office.
Well, this is not your first endeavor into grants, because I remember working with you years ago under the Cannon administration. Y'all were able to get as a federal grant, I think,
Yeah,
that
it's
you
a
worked.
meth grant.
That
Yeah.
you worked with. So
I think
getting
actually
us.
Marion County got it.
Yep.
We got it. Walker
I think
County
we're the
got
only.
it.
Well, there was very few agencies in the whole nation that got that, and I think
Right down in
Marion,
yours.
Day, and Walker, right here together, we all got it.
Yeah.
It was a huge grant.
$300 and something thousand
I
dollars.
don't know. It was a grant that we had to work hard to spend all of it.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but I mean it was for. Of course, now we were going through the meth labs at home at the time. We were doing some days 8 or 10 labs a day, and it provided for trailers, 4-wheelers. We had a machine that identified drugs and stuff. I mean, it was a big grant. That's what, about 2004.
Something like that.
Something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
it was. Yeah. So we did that one, and then I did one right before I got injured that benefited the school. It's like a school safety grant, and I think we ended up getting about 200 and something thousand off of it. If I
You know,
remember right.
I've probably said it on this program before. I am not a. I don't like having to jump through hoops, and y'all will understand this, to get our own money back. Because grants is tax money that's sitting there, and they put it in grants, and you have to apply
Yeah.
and show that you need the money. I understand that, and it's great that we can get it. I've just never liked the fact that you have to go through all of this red tape to get our own tax money back
Well,
from
some
the
of
federal
those
government.
grants you have to watch it because years ago they had grants where you could hire extra officers and stuff, and then the fine print in the grant was
After
at
5 years, you
after
gotta
3
continue
or
it
5
on.
years in the county, and then
Yeah.
when the county commission would hear that, they'd say, so
And that grant's back up.
is it?
Yeah, I got an email on it the other day, and I was like, oh, well, that's nice.
We always
but
look for those grants where there's no match because there's
Yeah.
a lot of matches, 25% match or whatever.
Mhm. That's what the school had
A match.
It was a match, but the thing with the grant he was just talking about for the officers, if you have vacancies that's there, you could apply for that grant for those vacancies, because in this one it says or rehire. So like if you had a bunch of openings, you could actually apply for it, and it would benefit you because you've already got those positions.
Right, you're
available.
not adding.
You're
an
not
officer.
adding them.
I can
so-
remember in the early days of the street from Philip when he was sheriff. We were one of the first in the state to get a DUI grant,
Yeah,
that was one. Do what?
Leland.
Yeah,
Did
even
that?
even before that, I can't remember the exact officer, and but you're right. Leland was through that grant,
Yeah.
and the it was one of those in 3 years or 5 years, then you had to bring them on as a full time deputy. But it bought the car, it bought all the things and the pulse ox. I mean, everything that they needed to be able to do their job. And the bad thing about it, and you were talking about the methamphetamine grant, you apply for these grants, but the people who get picked are the ones that have the highest demand for it. So it's probably
And
not
at
a
that
good
time,
at that time.
Grundy,
Unfortunately,
Marion, Day, and
yeah.
Walker we were getting hammered.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. I know that meth has switched from the shake and bake cooking in your homes to buying the stuff
Yeah, it's so-
pre-packaged and
Yeah, it's so cheap now to just buy it. It's like when I used to see maybe an ounce of that stuff, we were like, "Holy crap, that's a lot of
Now it's
meth." But
pounds.
now, if you ain't getting a pound, it's not that much.
And Sheriff, didn't you say most of it you're seeing is coming out of Mexico?
Llano would be your hub for the southeast. A lot of people that we have arrested were making two to three trips to Atlanta weekly to buy it. So we know Atlanta's the hub for the southeast. I guess when it finally slow that down, it'll be something else jump back up. So we fought the pill problem for what, last 5, 6, 8 years. So it's kind of gone down some, but then the meth jumped up. So
Yeah, and the heroin.
heroin, yes.
Well, I
coming
think
back.
once the public was made aware, and I know that the federal government's doing a heavy push on the drugs, the doctors hopefully have gotten wind and they've stopped
Yeah.
or slowed down prescribing them or been very, very cautious.
The doctors have really, I think there's a national database now where if you go to 3 different doctors in a certain period and get pain pills or whatever, they put you on the list. So, doctors have finally come aboard. It took a while, but
I've seen that over the years, and y'all could probably speak to this, where from the legislative law process, we're always 2 to 3 years behind.
at least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say at least 3 years. And best example I think of was back probably 6, 7 years ago when scrap metal was so high. There was no regulations on it. I mean, there was cars and stuff going down to be scrapped every day, and there was no. Finally, the legislature passed some laws where you had to produce paperwork, had to produce ID and stuff. and that stopped it. But for about 3 years, it was every day people you would call and say, I had a car that was tore up sitting in the yard and it's gone. Come find out it was down there.
Air conditioners.
Air conditioners. The only good thing about it was it cleaned the county up. 'Cause I seen I seen no tractor stuff sitting out there in fields for years, and as soon as that scrap metal went so high, they were all gone. I mean, I seen just trailer after trailer go through town going to.
Well, there used to be folks doing a legal business where they would go out and buy a tractor that's been sitting out in the or an old Caterpillar.
And I never
or something.
blamed the people at the scrap yard. You know, they were doing what they were doing, but the legislature was 3 years behind before they finally passed law. You know, you have to show ID and you have to get a description of the property and all this, and then we made a lot of arrests, but 3 years to 5 years behind.
The other one that comes to my mind is the synthetic marijuana, the things that you can buy at the convenience stores.
Yeah.
You know, they'd pass a law, and then the lawyers would, or they'd change one ingredient or slightly ingredient, make it legal again, and you know, it was a loophole, and they did that, and they finally got a hold on that.
Yeah, there's one out
degree.
there that I can't think of right now, but it's illegal in Tennessee or Alabama. Kratom.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal.
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
you're
illegal
right.
in Tennessee?
The what?
Is it illegal in
I
Tennessee?
think so, because like you said, they can.
Yeah, but here in Georgia, it's not illegal yet. So.
But then again, you're also running into the problem. You know, the state law may make it legal, but then you got federal law. So we're always a balancing act. You know, we take a lot of people through federal court because of things like that. But kind of makes it hard when you got a state law that says that this is legal, but the federal law says it isn't illegal. You know,
Well, I think we all know that the state of Colorado deals with that every day.
well, I was getting back to that.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
I'm afraid that within a couple of years that'll be marijuana may be legal in Tennessee, but down the federal law it's not. Of course, I don't think the Fed push the enforcing it that much.
You're watching Sheriff Talk here on KWN. Welcoming back Major Tommy Bradford, the Dade County Sheriff's Department, back to work after about an 18-month rehab after a tragic accident. We'll talk more about that anyway. And we're also going to be talking when we come back after this break a very tragic accident happened in Jackson County. Stay with us.
Landers McClarty Ford, home of America's hardest working truck in Fort Payne, Alabama, invites you to start the new year off right with a 2019 Ford F-150. 0% financing for 72 months and up to $15,000 off selected F-150s in stock. See Landers McClarty Ford for complete details. Landers McClarty Ford at 1916 Glen Boulevard in Fort Payne, Alabama, or shop on the web at Landers McClarty Ford. FortPayne.net.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000. At Comfort Gallery in Kimball, comfort is the key. And the key to making it easier to sleep, sit, and stand is a new PowerLift chair from Catnapper. Catnapper's PowerLift chairs feature comfort coil seating for long-lasting comfort and a powerful yet smooth, quiet motor. Some models even include heat and massage. It's really comfort at the touch of a button. See the full selection today when you visit Comfort Gallery. Free delivery and setup, 1 year free layaway, and 6 and 12 months same as cash available at Comfort Gallery. 780 Main Street, 1 mile north of I-24, exit 152A, Kimball, Tennessee.
Back now to KWN TV as we continue with Sheriff Talk around the breach. Glad to have you along with us today, this week's edition. Major Tommy Bradford back with us after being out for about 18 months. He's back to work this week for the Dade County Sheriff's Department. Tickled to death he's with us. Wanted to talk on this segment a devastating story out of Jackson County. Sheriff, we've talked about, being on the water and different things, but I've never heard of this magnitude of a fire and the loss of life anywhere around here on the Tennessee River.
I heard it on the national news, I guess Monday morning, and I really wasn't paying that close attention. I was drinking coffee, but when they said Scottsboro, Alabama, I turned the volume up, and I thought, and that's when it showed the boat dock and all the boats that had been damaged, and we got 8 confirmed dead, I think, or they did.
Yeah.
I haven't called Chuck. One of my detectives sent one of the other detectives a message. That we had boats and stuff if they need us, but they said they had plenty of help. So, but that's terrible, terrible. And I think you told me some people were from this Trenton area.
Yeah, they haven't officially released any of the names.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they've. Their search and recovery is over with.
Well, they said that they would probably continue for at least a couple of days more, because some of the boats that they feel like everybody that has been made known that they were missing, they've been able to find. Is that what you heard?
34 boats destroyed.
35.
35.
Yeah.
And I guess they're trying to figure out who was on them or who left them. I'm sure it takes a long time to find all that. I'm sure they had records of who they were and stuff, and just going through the paperwork trying to determine if they were there that night or not. I didn't realize that many people stayed on boats at night in those docks.
Well, you've got some docks like that in your county.
Hales Bar's got a lot of them. And, several years ago they had a tornado hit one of them and tore a dock up and tore a bunch of boats up. Nobody got hurt, but you just never know. I on the way down there, I called a buddy of mine that used to have a boat. I didn't realize there was 2 of them down there. There's another one, a private one, and then
this was at the Jackson County Park.
Right. And my buddy had another one at I forget the name of the park, but and I said, well, how can that happen? He said, well, they're all lined up close together down through there, and if one catches on fire, 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just most of them are full of tanks hold 100-gallon of fuel. He said a lot of them probably were full of fuel and stuff, and he said it just happens quick, just boom, boom, boom. When they showed it on the local news, and they did a picture of it from the air, and it showed the other dock A, then it showed dock B, I think is the one that burnt, and it just the differences in the two, and just amazing. All those boats were just completely destroyed.
Yeah, it certainly was devastating, and I know the families, are having to go through this. The displaced families, they were I think 7 taken to Highlands Medical Center for treatment that were able to swim out away from there. And
Probably had a lot of burns and stuff on
yeah,
the
I'm not
skin.
really sure on the extent of injuries as far as the ones that were transported, other than they were transported and felt like they were going to be okay, and then of course 8 confirmed. Unreal, really. And I talked earlier about the fact that the first responders, the police officers and the paramedics and the fire department, and the fact of having to deal with that's not, and it's a great thing, but it's not something we deal with every day.
No.
I wonder if first responders arrived when what most of the fire out or what.
Well, I seen a lot of photos that were taken by folks that were there after the emergency,
when it was
and it was still on. It was still on flame.
Yeah,
So
all in
yeah,
flame.
and I think it was really, really hard, from what I understand, for the fire department. You can imagine this: be able to try to fight a fire from the shore with the fire basically going outward
'Cause
away from you.
The docks to the boats was probably destroyed, wasn't it? I would assume.
Well, I think the fire,
Were they
from
metal?
what we said, it was closer to the shore,
Yeah.
and that caused the big problem for folks to be able to escape, but it also posed a problem for firefighters to be able to fight a fire. It's
Just a bad situation.
totally bad. And folks have a wonderful time around water. Obviously you've got the biggest area along with Jackson County with the Tennessee River in your county, but there's some like this. There's tragedies that come along with that are different than counties that don't have a lot of water.
Yeah, we actually recovered a body yesterday afternoon at Nickajack Dam. We think it was a person that had jumped off a bridge in Chattanooga. And about 2 o'clock yesterday, or 1 o'clock. No, it was around 2 o'clock. We received a call. And some of my officers took our boat, and TWRA went out there and recovered the body, and hadn't been identified. We sent this person to Nashville for an autopsy, but one of the detectives told me that they received a call from Chattanooga, I think last Thursday, that possibly they think they had somebody might have jumped off the old Jolly Bridge. And we do get, over the years, we have got a lot of bodies that have, hadn't been recovered in Chattanooga. They end up in Marion County. So they had called to alert us about it, and we're pretty certain that's who it is. They'll probably identify him here in a few days.
Well, and like I said, the water, there's a lot of folks around the Tennessee Valley that enjoy the water, fishing and
Of course, you get some tragedy
RVing
with it.
and living on the water, but there is definitely that. So our hearts and our prayers and everything go out to the families who are having to deal with that tragedy there in the city of Scottsboro. The Jackson County Park, I believe, is the location. Stay with us. So lots more to come. Sheriff Talk will continue here on KWN.
For the best deals on a Chevy, any time of day, roll on down to Riverside Chevrolet.
Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC, the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty, has a 2019 Buick Envision, MSRP $36,395. Riverside price $31,32, a savings of over $6,000, or receive 0% for 72 months with a $500 rebate. We make buying so easy.
Roll on down to Riverside Chevrolet.
Located off I-24 West, Kimball, Tennessee.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
Hey, that cold weather is coming, and it's never too early to get your winter supplies from Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Everything you need to wrap pipes under the house. Winterize around the doors. Make sure your outside faucets are protected, and keep those drafts from coming through the windows. Get your supplies for fall and winter for the home and farm today. Rising Fawn Hardware and Supply. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Telephone 706-462-2071. Can you gig it? Oh, yes, you can. We know you've been waiting for a long time, and now Tennessee Valley Net is bringing it to you. Gigabit internet service now available in certain areas of Dade County. Not just fast, super fast internet service now available from Tennessee Valley Net. People are talking, I mean really smiling about gig speed internet available in limited areas from Tennessee Valley Net. Call today at 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net and see if gig speed is available where you are. We know you'll gig it from Tennessee Valley Net.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. I want to talk just a little bit this segment. We talked about it last week, and Sheriff, I don't remember if you were here, and I know Major you wasn't, but we're again for the second. This is our second year coming up. We're going to be starting our Share Your Heart with a Hero campaign, and we kicked it off last week in connection with WFLI in Chattanooga, as well as News 12. Park Ridge Health Systems, Mountain View Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, as well as Food Cities, and we're going to be doing several live remotes around the Chattanooga area over the next couple of weeks, and we're collecting heart-shaped boxes of candy. You remember, for all of our fire, police, EMS, and dispatchers, paramedics, EMTs, everybody. And this year, we're going to include the TDOT workers in Chattanooga because they do an outstanding job. I watch them sometime in the morning when I'm on the radio, and they're not too shy to drag a car out in the middle of the interstate real quick, And I know that we can all remember where, if a car was in the middle of the interstate, you had to wait on a wrecker.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be, 20, 30 minutes, and some of them TDOT trucks get on the scene before the police do. So,
used to that when you worked a wreck, the first thing they would teach you don't move the cars till the officer gets there and all that. But now we don't do that. The interstates are so crowded that you see all the signs. If able, move to the right hand side of the road. Which we've always preached. Don't move the cars till we get there so we can diagram the scene. But that's changed now due to the increase in traffic. A little two-car fender bender on the interstate now can back up everything for hours.
Oh yeah, and it does.
It does.
Everybody
slows down, and then
traffic stop on the interstate now slows the interstate down.
The traffic is, and we've talked about this, but the traffic is humongous, and I think it's traffic, the infrastructure where we don't have enough lanes, and they're starting to work on that, and the good thing that we don't realize enough. I'm glad because, but the move over law has slowed things down, and it should. Where if they're on a 2-lane interstate and there's a officer or somebody on the side of the road with a car, you're supposed to move over into the fast lane and leave that one lane open. And if you do that, that's going to slow things down.
Yeah.
So with the move over laws.
We had a tractor trailer wreck. I think it's last Wednesday or Thursday at the 152-mile marker, and, had everything.
Oh yeah, that was the fire.
Yeah.
And you had a fatality in that too, didn't you? Wow, I'm telling you. The interstates are so dangerous now.
If I can go anywhere, if I can go an alternate route, I just soon drive through all the small towns and deal with the traffic lights. Just get on the interstate.
About 90% of the time, I'll go to Chattanooga on Highway 11.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Unless it's like during the middle of the day and there's most people at work, but most of the time Highway 11.
Well, they're doing that. They're doing that construction at the 2475 split. They're still doing construction on the 27 highway going to towards the ballpark where the AT&T field. And all that.
Yeah.
they've been there, what, 4 years now?
Yeah.
Somebody said they're another 2 years away from. Every time I go by there, like I said, nothing's ever done. I'm sure there's stuff being done that I don't know, but
It's hard to visualize what they're
you
doing.
would think you go by and they have 300 or 400 people out there working. You may see 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, because I believe every time they extend that date, that's a fine on them. So they're
I think
paying.
it's the biggest road project in the state of Tennessee
Yeah.
right now is that 27.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're having to pay some fines now since they're past the.
Of course, they had a lot of. I think
in
you had some
November.
problems with the walls they were building to hold the earth back. That those didn't work out real well, and had to redo them. Somebody told me, but just seemed like you go in there today. Wait, you can go here today and then go back a month. Don't sound like much is being done, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about engineers and things that have to be worked on.
Absolutely. The traffic. How is the 41?
It's getting better. They're about. I hope they'll get done. I hadn't heard anything about it lately, but I quit going through there because if you've been through there, they got temporary traffic
Red light,
lights.
yeah.
You may have sat there 20 minutes. So yeah, but
Because that's a good distance
Right.
between where the temporary red lights are.
it's probably a couple miles.
Wow. So they have to electronically wait long enough.
I don't know how that thing works. It scares me because it turns green. You go through there and you can see cars sitting way down there, and I'm thinking, what if these traffic lights foul up and then that turns green and we all meet on the because it's just a one narrow lane right now. So
Well, you gotta
I may be experimenting right through there on my way back today and see
how that's going to be. I know we've got a one of those temporary red lights on the interstate in Rising Fawn at Deerhead Cove. They're lifting the bridge up, and it's down to one lane for 2 or 3 more weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think. Because they got to do, 2 or 3 bridges through here?
Yeah, all of the bridges, with the exception
Is that
of
what they're doing with the barricades around the bridges coming down?
Yes,
59?
they're
I've seen that
raising
coming
them
in.
up, and then they're going to do them all over because it's a federal project.
Yeah, it's only like raising it up 3 inches.
Which I don't understand. It's I guess it's federal government, and I guess it's good that they're checking them and changing anything that they need to, but they, for whatever reason, a few years ago raised the height of a bridge up 3 inches. So every bridge on the interstate has to be raised 3 inches.
They just finished up a year ago the interstate where it goes over the Highway 72 in Kimball. They had to raise it up. It got hit 3 or 4 times with people hauling equipment, and I think it raised it maybe 8 or 10 inches, but it took 2 years and to how much money it cost.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was a good reason, but you would think if you're going to raise it, let's go 5 or 6, instead of just 3. We'll come up with 3 inches.
I don't know where that came from, but that's what they said, 3 inches.
Yeah,
so.
That is for sure. But anyway, I do want to mention the fact that last year we raised on the Hearts for Our Heroes campaign. Last year we were able to raise about 2,500 heart-shaped boxes of candy that we distributed in Dade, Walker, Catoosa, Marion, and Hamilton County, and we hope to have that plus a lot more this year. And because of the electronic age, we've made a page where you can go donate. You may not be able to get to any of the food cities that we're going to be doing the live remotes with, or be able to drop by somewhere, but you can go online. Remember, $1 you will buy a heart-shaped box of candy, and it's really a gesture of appreciation and support and our love to what all these first responders do every year for us around the clock. But you can go to GoFundMe.com and search WFLI, and it's got all the information. You can donate there without hesitation, and if you put in $20, there's going to be 20 boxes of hearts bought. And so we're not going to buy the $8.99 or $9.99s, but we'll, for all of that money that goes to the GoFundMe and search WFLI, it's basically $1 for each heart. So if you put in 20, you get 20 hearts we can buy for the officers, paramedics, and EMTs, firefighters, and dispatchers. So do that. That's GoFundMe, something different we're doing this year. Open it up where you can do it at home at your leisure. Stay with us. We'll have another break, and we'll be back on Sheriff Talk.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Come enjoy pizza for lunch or dinner in a family-friendly atmosphere at Stevie B's Pizza in Fort Payne. Enjoy the buffet and salad bar anytime or have a specialty pizza made to order. At Stevie B's, take advantage of 2 Stamp Tuesday for adult and senior buffets and Thirsty Thursdays when drinks are free after 4 p.m. Take out any medium pizza weekdays between 2 and 5 for just $4.49. And on the weekends, take out any 2 large pizzas just $14.99. Book your parties now by calling Stevie B's at 256-979-1234. Stevie B's Pizza, 2200 Galt Avenue North, Fort Payne. When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
The Big Jet Fly.
I need somebody. Get back. Honk a cat.
Where you talking about time I go out of control? 5, 4, 6, 2, 4. Rolling on the river. Taking cat fashions and just gas gas. Till I reach my highest ground. The Big Jet Fly. WFLI.
All right, back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN, and we before we went on the air, I was telling the sheriff be able to. I think 2 weeks ago on this program, we told that the Marion County High School football coach was taking a job in Georgia, and that was breaking kind of on the same day. Well, this morning we learned that the Dade County High School coach, Coach Pruitt, is going to Marion County. So
I knew there was 2 people up for the job, and I'd heard that he was. I've never met the man, but
well, now he's been at Marion County.
Yeah, I think
years ago.
Yeah, was he a assistant coach or head coach?
I thought he was a head coach, but I'm really not 100% sure. I know he worked as a coach at Marion County High School.
And his son's the head coach at
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And he's finishing up his first year at Dade County, and making all of the media earlier today. I think the Free Press, and I had heard that a few days ago, but I guess they made it official. I know that Principal Farney released a statement earlier today, kind of confirming that.
Well, I wonder if he's going to go ahead and get started right now, or is he going to?
I'm not really sure.
Fulfill the rest of the year here.
That really wasn't clear in the statement of if he was going to finish up the year here. Normally, especially in a coaching situation like that, they step away and go where they can be at spring training and stuff like that. So
that way, it gives this school opportunity to
go ahead and do it now. They can
try
go
to find somebody. Yeah,
right. And so, I guess I don't know what's going to happen in 2 more weeks, but it seems like every 2 weeks we're making and you see that with coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this time of year, because like you're saying, they're making their transitions where they can be for spring training and go ahead and get hired and let the other schools that they're leaving have an opportunity. Obviously, Marion County 2 weeks ago is in the same shape now Dade County is, looking for a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to do that. And it was a very, very supportive statement from Mr. Farney, who is the principal at Dade County High School, that Coach Pruitt was able to bring a lot of great things to the high school here.
I wonder what caused the decision to do that.
Don't know.
I wonder if it was,
I don't know, other than I know Marion County was looking for a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, because their coach was leaving.
Is that closer to his house? Or
don't think so.
I don't even know where he lives.
out on the mountain, don't
Yeah,
he?
he lives down in Alabama somewhere.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
I don't.
Towards
I don't
Rainsville
know.
or somewhere.
Do what?
I was just
Towards Rainsville?
Yes.
right
Yeah.
there. I was just curious, what? Of course, that's his business, and ain't none of mine. But I was just curious, what would get him to change. I mean, it's I don't know.
I don't know
Probably
either.
none of our business. But
Well, it appears the decision's been made, so that's good.
of course, that program has been over the years has been real successful at Marion County on winning state titles, and the last, I guess, 10, 12, 15 years, they haven't had good years, and I guess they're, he may feel like that there's a talent there to do that. I don't know. I just curious what would make somebody change that close. This it's because I've always heard, and I don't know whether it's true, and I've always heard that teachers and whatever get paid more in Georgia than they do in Tennessee. I know people that have quit teaching in Tennessee and come to Georgia because of money. So I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard that, but.
Well, I do know there's several folks that they'll be at retirement age in Georgia, and they'll go to Tennessee. And work another 5 years and get vested in another state for another retirement.
And then hop over to the other state and get 3 retirements.
We're all under the Tennessee retirement system. School teachers, police officers, me, everybody. Maybe a better retirement system. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I know that police officers in Tennessee has retirement you can pay into. Georgia has never come along with that, have they?
Nah, I wish they'd do something like Tennessee and go into the state, but.
The good thing about this system, this retirement system in Tennessee, on police officer, if they just passed it here last year, if you got 25 years of service or more, you can go ahead and retire out. You know what I'm saying? You started at the sheriff's department when you're 21, and you're
46.
46.
Yeah.
I was trying to do the math, but and I've got a lot of officers that are.
And that's
16,
young.
17, yeah.
46 is young.
The thing they can do is they
That's
can.
how old I am.
They
Yeah,
can draw
that's
that
real young.
retirement out and then get that yearly income, then go find another job, so they can. That's changed just this last year. 25
I know the
years.
elected officials in Georgia, the sheriffs and everything, they've got a retirement plan.
Yeah.
The elected officials, but I'm glad that Tennessee has an officer retirement plan. I think that's probably good.
In Georgia, it's just like the cities. A lot of the cities have one, but the sheriff's offices they don't. They usually whatever the county offers. So, right now it's a 3% match. So that's what we can pay into, and it's kind of like a 401k. So right now it's doing good.
Right.
But, it depends on. That's kind of an unsteady retirement there, though.
Absolutely.
You could make a fortune this year, then in 2 months and next year you can go broke.
Yeah. So
that is true. So we've got just a few minutes left. I know you're excited about being back.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. So.
So we can probably see you at the commission meetings and different things like that. Are you going to
Probably.
be going to various things? And I know that the last couple of days has been a media whirlwind for you. I've seen you
something I don't normally like. So I've had to learn to like it since this past year and a half because I've been on it a few times.
Well,
so.
I mean that kind of gives the community really got behind you, and they should. And I'm tickled for the support that this whole region showed.
Oh yeah,
it's not just
it's not just
County.
here. It's
I mean,
at the mall. I go in. people I don't even know come up and give me a hug or shake my hand and thank me and stuff like that. It means a lot, especially when the media is usually kind of on officers pretty hard, or were there for a little bit, and so it kind of beats you down. And then to see there's really more support out there for the officers, I believe, than there's not. So, but the media, you know, those people don't go to the media, and they're just kind of in the background. But when something happens, they kind of rally behind you. So that was nice, and it showed me that there's still people out there that care.
We've got such a unique tri-state area. I mean, obviously, the camaraderie or the work commitment between different agencies. I mean, you know, through Jackson and DeKalb and Dade and Marion and Walker, you know, Hamilton. I mean, this whole area works together so well, and that has to help. You know, when it. I mean, because I know your situation where your accident happened. That was, you know, it started in Fort Payne, Alabama, and you know, I know over the years you've been in a number of chases where you were the chaser.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, not everybody. I know Jackson County just a few weeks ago, sheriff. They want to try to change the law in the state of Alabama to make it a more harsher penalty.
Yeah.
For someone fleeing and attempting to.
Well, ours is pretty hard. I mean, once you go across the state line, it turns it into a felony. So that's good. I just think if you run at all, it should be a felony.
I agree. I think it ought to be. I think it ought to be a felony across. I mean,
because they're endangering people. So
I mean, y'all know this more than the average person. But even if you've got a warrant on you, you know, if you'll just stop and go through the process, you're going to be out at some point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the unfortunate thing. We see that happen all the time. You know, you running because you may think you got a warrant. Because I ain't going to go back to jail. You may only be there 12 hours to get out.
Yeah. People get stopped at a traffic stop and they escalate the situation. If they just sign the ticket or whatever and go on, everything.
And sometimes they might be getting a warning, but they don't give you the opportunity to say it, and they talk themselves into a citation.
The next thing you know, I mean, that's why I try to make people understand. You know, they say, well, "Why don't the officer just de-escalate and everything?" And I said, "Well, you can't just say, well, you're getting mad and you know, it's going to cause problems. I'm just going to let you go." I mean, what happens next? We just going to quit stopping people and just because they don't like it? I mean, I meant to mention one thing. You know, Larry Simcox passed away.
No.
You know, he was. Yeah, he was.
I did not.
Yeah,
realize.
last Thursday I got notification that he had been living in Cleveland.
I was fixed to say the last I'd heard he was up
in
in Cleveland.
He did the timeout show, him and Bill Keegan for many years down.
And he was the mayor of Jasper.
Mayor of Jasper.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize
he'd had some major health problems the last few years, and I got a message from the
his
county mayor.
nickname was Double Wide.
Double Wide.
Because he sold mobile homes. Right. I mean, it wasn't because it was big, but you know. And I think he.
Well, when you went there and did that show, you didn't know what was going to happen. He said what he thought. He didn't hold back, and I've been down there. And he's embarrassed me so bad. I just wanted to crawl off the stuff. But that's Larry. I graduated in my whole life, so.
Well, so he had moved. I knew that he was selling. The last I'd heard from Larry, he was in Cleveland selling mobile homes. Right. So he had moved up there, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think his health had gotten bad. He had worked at maybe the Ford dealership there in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
And I think eventually over the years his health got so bad that he couldn't do anything. So.
All right. Well, I ate that. Him and Attorney Killian. I mean, he ended up being.
I'm out.
Yeah, he was. A judge in the Southeastern District.
No, he was the U.S. attorney.
That's right, attorney. That's right. He got appointed, and he's finally retired, didn't he?
I think he retired from that, but I think he's with another law firm there in Chattanooga.
Okay.
I hadn't talked to Bill in a long time. So.
All right. I hadn't even heard either one of those names mentioned in a few months, but I didn't know that. Tommy, Major. Major. We appreciate you coming back. We're excited about you being here. I know the county is, and I know your family is. And so get you back and get back in the swing of things.
Yep.
Sheriff, thanks for coming.
Glad to be
Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next week on Sheriff Talk. You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.